expected to be hard to handle early.
So a cool night in Melbourne, but not as chilly as last Friday, of course, when we had Mick, Eddie and Bucks all in the same stadium. Set to roll on a Friday night, and immediately a bit going on up forward for Adelaide. Opening bounce, though, we're underway. Jacob slaps it down. Hand pass from ball. Came to Swan. Floats one towards half forward. Side bottom. So the man playing his 200th. The man who's playing his 100th.
Play on.
Just short. Clear on his chest. Ball digging it out of the middle. And side bottom getting it. Side bottom. Wonderful young player. He seems to have been around a heck of a long time. 100 games, most of them quality. Ball across half back. That's McKay back in the side. High ball for Adelaide. Up towards the wing. And Shaw, clever mark, plays on. Kicks down towards half forward. Henderson in best position, stretches, and he takes the mark in defence for the Crows.
You talked about run and carry for Collingwood, Lee. Henderson's one of the ones that can do it for the Crows. He can break a line. He's a talent. There's some thought that he might play forward tonight, but he started down back now. Runs his full measure, and that's an ambitious kick, but a very good one to Crouch. That really opens things up. Now, Thompson's the first runner for the Crows. Now, he's got to wait for the bounce. Did OK. Douglas, had a good year, Douglas. It sat for him, and then a lovely kick. Lyons, little touch in the back, no free. Sinclair's got poor pleasure. He was caught holding the ball late in that game last week. Sloan has to hand it out. Lyons, good tackle. That came from Hudson, the ex-Crow, of course. Crackers give good to Blair, to side bottom, and then side bottom switches it and Collingwood are away.
Swan so good last week against Carlton. He's at right half back. Just pops it back towards the middle. Blair back to Swan. He had the appetite for it last week. Floats one towards half forward. Cracker. There's movement up ahead. Witts is on the run, and Witts has taken the mark about 40 metres out.
It was impressive last week, Witts. I mean, they moved the ball quickly, but nevertheless, this guy is well over 200 centimetres. He's a monster. But still, that was a goal probably that went betting. But just when he had to get on the lead, Ruttman's not the quickest defender, we know that, but he led hard, good hands out in front. He's a very promising young player, young Ruttman, Witts.
Lanky left footer. His good kicks were very good last week. He missed a couple he should have kicked. That's not bad. That was sort of the compromise and the two extremes last week. Talia takes a defensive mark, goes short to Vince, who was concussed in the final term last week against the West Coast Eagles. Bernie Vince in the back pocket then.
Short kick to Sloan. And Sloan looked to have timed that absolutely perfectly to Lynch. 10 goals in a game, Lynch. And that's a good kick to Rutten, who's worked hard up the ground. And then on they go. Another pretty good kick to Portlesia. So Adelaide have opened them up here. Well done by Rutten. The first kick out was a beauty from Sloan. And Portlesia drilling the ball well, drilling it to nobody in the end. And then Hudson without a tackle on him to Reid. Too much space there for Collingwood. Seedsman. Crouch will try and corral him. Short, and Cloak right up the ground takes the mark.
Dane Beams is onto the ground, and his first minute on the ground, he's been with Dangerfield. So welcome back, Dane.
That was Dwyer, not Seedsman, by the way.
Here's Reid. A match changer last week to Shaw. A couple of bounces. Can't believe his freedom. Kicks it down towards half forward. Plenty of Crows there. Jacobs elected not to mark. Hand pass came from Brown to Thompson. Floats it towards half forward. Jenkins was up. Off hands. Portlesia. He's been lively. Sinclair got him down. Maxwell feeds it back to Shaw. This is where Collingwood are dangerous as they build from the back. Side bottom. Getting early touches. Reid just cruising past. Runs beyond the wing. Cloak is on the move. The kick over his head, though, tailor-made for the defender. Talia knocked it straight down to Cloak. How will this one bounce? High and wide.
Gee, a lot of space in Collingwood's defence, isn't it, when they're coming out? No pressure there at the moment. Adelaide have had a couple of promising entries and just failed at the last sort of moment. So, big source, Jacobs. That's a good mark taken by Wright. It's re-signed this week. Put a few pens to paper, the Crows, in the last month or two. Van Berlo, good kick. Sloan. And then Sloan off a step. Now they've got behind them here. Otten should take the mark. It was a free kick, surely. The advantage. And Lynch should kick the first goal of the match. And Adelaide get it. Always good to get a good start when you're away from home.
It's always a little bit dangerous when you straighten the ball up and come back in towards the centre square, but that was the kick. The kick that went into Sloane. Now, all of a sudden, you can attack the forward 50 from all different angles when you're out that central part of the ground. And would have been a free kick to Ottens, of course, but that's a good goal for the Crows. Got the numbers back, which every one team's going to do, but then you've got to be able to bring the ball out quickly if you want to get it into that forward 50 space. They've done it well, Bruce, and this is about the third time finally they made it work. The first two they messed up on the way through.
And Sloane's kicked a couple of beauties, I reckon, so far tonight. And Henderson, you're right, they've had 3 goes and got there first.
Right start by the Crows then. Tom Lynch, 21 goals for the season, playing his first game ever against the Magpies. Hudson down to Pendlebury, kicks it towards half forward. How will this one bounce? Awkwardly for all and sundry. Beat the 2-14s, but not the number 2. Crouch to Laird. Laird goes out wide. Douglas, one of my favourites, close to the boundary line, nowhere to go, in trouble, and Seedsman wouldn't be bypassed.
Guys, there appears to be only one hard tag in the midfield. That is Van Berlo on Pendlebury. So far, I have not seen anyone really go to Dangerfield. So one hard tag, Pendlebury, Van Berlo.
So expected McCaffer maybe to be there, but not
Forward line at the moment, McCaffer.
Some good run. Here's Young. Now that's a big kick, and Witts, wow, there's a statement. Gee Lee, he's a colossus, isn't he?
Well, you only need to do it 2 or 3 times at this stage of his career to say, geez, we're going to persevere with this. He's done it twice tonight. I mean, that was just a long, high ball. And I guess being behind, he was just able to get his little bit of his run and his leap. And when he leaped and reached, he was a long way above run. That's a good mark.
Kicked a couple last week. He really did his job last week, and he's got the goal. So he's had 2 shots on goal and gets his first now. Because Jolly's to come back now. Jolly will come back in 3 or 4 weeks.
Jolly's a hint as for Hudson, really. I think it's one or the other because they're their main on-field ruckman. But
Lynch is the other.
It's more the Quinton Lynch situation as their forward, second ruckman. And, well, Lynch hasn't been doing a lot in his half season, so I would have thought Witts doesn't have to do a whole lot to say, well, he's the future. He can do better or at least as well in the present. So he's doing well. Here's Hudson. He's a great journeyman ruckman. I call him journeyman because he's 34. He's at his 4th club, but he's been a valuable player wherever he's played. Hudson.
Well, Ben, no hope. Just stuffed, then mounted.
He jumped over Jacobs again then, Hudson.
Dangerfield with dash. Storms out of the middle. Bacon goal square. Has it got the carry? Williams goes back. Not required as it turned out. Porplesia read it best off the boot. It was falling in short. Williams committed to the run back to the goal line. Porplesia turned at just the right time and has taken the mark with the man on the mark 5 metres out. He's been good. This forward line looking dangerous. And that's not their MO, really, because the forward line's been the problem. They've been unable to kick big scores this season. But right now, they're taking it right up to Collingwood.
Strong mark. Strong mark in the goal kick by goal square by Blitz. I thought when he streamed through the front of the centre square, Dangerfield, to me, a play like him, break the 50-metre line. But he ran his 5 metres and then kicked the ball about 60 metres out. So they got the goal. Have a look at this. When he's running out of the centre here, to me, Dangerfield should be running another 10 metres, breaking the 50-metre line, kicking the goal. As it turned out, they've got the goal, but it needed a mark deep on the full forward line to do so.
So Porplesia has started very brightly. Ball out of the centre. So Adelaide, 2 of the first 3 goals. Saw Carlton kick 7 of the first 9 last week, and it didn't do them much good in the end. Cracker, Douglas, belting forward. And that's a good mark by Reid. That is a really good mark going back. Not sure what was coming, but he's a brave man. Good, well, I was going to say good long kick, but beautifully cut off. And Smith's kick. Lynch. Lyons, who missed a mark earlier. Back to Lynch. That's a sloppy bit of play by Lynch. Cut off by Pendlebury. And Cracker. And now Swan off a step. Hooking the ball wide. Just searching. Brown. That's the Adelaide Brown. Good smother. by Cracker. Both the grounds were in the 16. There's Tom Harley, who we know, who's in the inner sanctum tonight with the Crows. We'll be able to talk to Tom through the quarters.
Hold it, Ben.
Boundary throw in. But comfortable enough, didn't he, Tommy?
Do you think if we give him a suggestion, he'll pass it on?
No.
No, I don't think
All the glory for him tonight.
Him.
Crouch down towards half forward. Maxwell. Brown goes back in trouble, hard against the boundary line, gets the kick away. Well played by Williams, worked in front. Maxwell kept coming. Now runs back inside the defensive 50, goes back towards the goal square. Now Reed's got a problem. The pressure not there yet. He waits, slips a hand pass back to Maxwell. Making hard work of it at the moment. Pressure good from the Crows in front. Mark missed by McCaff, around the corner by Smith. Through the legs of Wright, not so good. Maxwell tries to repel him, in trouble. Great pressure, Crows. Hand pass came across eventually, and the kick comes out from Sinclair. Up towards the winger, was it Maxwell? Doesn't matter, it's going back in. Jacobs has got the football, smothered off the boot. It's going to be a free kick, and it will be taken by McKay. Well, Maxwell involved about 3 or 4 times there as the pressure grew. And bringing it out, it wasn't convincing. McKay sends it back in then. High ball, Jenkins in front. Fisted away well. Brown to the fisting, taken by Ball. Chips it across the front of goal. And Young.
So Young's second match for Collingwood. Premiership player with Hawthorn. That kick earlier to Witts was just symptomatic of what a great kick he is, and there he goes out on the full, just as I said it. But he is a good long kick, trust me.
It was interesting, that play on the full back line when Maxwell had it. There's been a couple paid the last couple of weeks that make defenders very nervous on the full back line at this point of the season. Henderson's
kick was hard for Dangerfield. Just dropping it down was Elliott. Blair, well done, Blair. He had plenty of opposition and now has to backtrack. Sloan was very good. Young on that left, just went through Sloan. It was a hard one, and then off Thompson. Back from side bottom. Swan with that familiar gait of his and kick. And Reed, as Dennis said, he was the game breaker. He was the changer last week. He turned it round. Sinclair, good kick. Gee, Witts.
Looks terrific, doesn't he? Swings it out wide. Seedsman tracks it back. Plays it in front. Otten trying to close. Seedsman figures he's got him covered, but the kick, bit tall there for Cloak, hitting the Packard beams. Across to Pendlebury. Something of the old firm, but Pendlebury misses. The best and fairest of last season, taking it cleanly. Dane Beams and giving it off, and probably it should have been a goal. Adelaide lead by 4, 12-8, midway through the term. And they'd be well satisfied with this start. Of course, we'll be checking with Tom just to make sure our summation matches theirs. As the ball comes outside the 50, offhand, Seedsman a half chance. McCaffrey across the body, he'll direct it.
Brown cuts it off. He's done well, Brown. He's held his place. He's become a permanent fixture in the back 6. That's a good kick by Henderson again to Dangerfield. And then Vince. So Adelaide, their field kicking so far tonight's been pretty impressive, I reckon. I think they just need to be so efficient to have a chance tonight. Vince. Crouch, good young guy. Lynch releases Van Berlo. Well, he could have gone, Van Berlo, but off the step. Can they get it at the back right? Sloan. Well done there by Williams. He was terrific to hold them up because they were in there, Adelaide. Wright was waiting for the Sloan handball.
What a gamble by Sidebottom. He decided to go to the front of the pack there and left Sloan at the back.
Bruce, you mentioned Adelaide's kicking. They're going at 90% at the moment. That's extraordinary, and that's the reason why they're going well. They haven't had as many numbers, but they're kicking it well.
McCaffrey under pressure. Laird, the beneficiary. Douglas goes out wide over the head of Thompson. It runs out of bounds.
Yeah, for all the multitude of modern stats, it's always been a game of keepings off. So if you keep giving the ball back to the opposition, it's very hard to play well. So the Crows are very good tonight.
And long kicks. We just saw the long kicks there, Lee, 10-4.
Long, accurate, effective kicks are obviously the most valuable of them all.
Dangerfield knocked it down, but stolen away well by Swan. Into the path of Elliott. Bad bounce he got, but gathered by Pendlebury. Kicks inside the forward 50. Dwyer, the quick turnaround onto the loose ball. Dwyer right onto the 50. And onto him was Brown. Douglas looping hand pass to no one in particular. Cracker. Now Pendlebury, that was brilliant. Wonderful evasion. Slapped out of there, though, by Smith. Leading back in the races, Elliott left the footy behind. Well, that was clever if planned. I doubt it was. Witts has got the football, slips it across into the path of Sidebottom. Sidebottom goes back to Sinclair. Otten got him. Hurried kick around the corner there by Sidebottom. Not very good. It just bounced to Dangerfield. Kick forward now down towards half forward by Henderson. Mark is taken by Porplesia. And Porplesia barely 15, but successfully to Jenkins.
Just there, mate.
He's very lucky he didn't get a 50-metre. That he certainly hung on well over the mark. Then Brown, have a look at this. He sort of grapples him. He comes over the mark to make sure he... Geez.
15 gone.
Lenient as that.
Sidebottom seemed to have more time than he knew with the kick. He was almost falling to the ground as he was trying to kick the footy, and as a result just brushed the footy and moved it only about 10 metres. Now here's Jenkins, normally a powerful kick. This one from 50 hangs it out to the right. Collingwood supporters enjoyed that, but they won't be enjoying this start by their team. Looking sluggish, the Crows looking sharp.
It's 15-18 from set shots, Jenkins. I mean, you just got to nail them. That's what we were talking about.
The Crows are getting their numbers back quickly into the Collingwood defence. Forward 50, and then getting the numbers and then coming into an open forward line. Collingwood aren't yet pushing back nearly as hard as the Crows midfield.
Tom, what are the main concerns in the Crows box so far?
Well, they're pretty satisfied, Bruce, with the start of the game. The pressure's been good, squeezing right up. Dane Swan's got too much uncontested ball, so Bruce expects Scott Thompson to spend a bit of time on him now.
Right. Henderson led, and then Henderson has been so good to Brown, to Rutten, and then to Thompson. I'll get back to you in a minute, Tom. Just want to ask you, maybe did anything surprise them at all up there? The way Collingwood set up, here's Crouch out wide, and this is what they've been doing so well. This is this field kicking, finding targets, running on. Now he can kick this fence. Well, he doesn't have to. Look at that. Well, Richo, you talked about Porplesia before the match. How do you reckon he's going?
Well, he's starting to feel confident now. An early mark always makes any forward feel good. We know that he's been down for a little while now, but 2 early marks and 2 goals. Once he gets up and about, he's hard to stop. That goal came about, though, because Lynch came off the interchange bench. No one saw him. Gets it inside 50.
And 2 goals from the goal square. You don't get that too often. So Porplesia's kicked 2 goals in each of the last 3 weeks. So, Tom, the field kicking's been impressive, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has been. The senior players, Bruce, have started really well and settled down. A few of the younger players perhaps a little bit fumbly early in the game, but as far as I guess tactics from Collingwood, nothing at this stage that's really caught them off guard. You can see that Collingwood are trying to switch the ball deep in defence. Adelaide halfbacks pushing right up and trying to play the ball in their half as much as possible. And as I say, the senior players, and Vince in particular, started the game really well.
Just to look at the game, Tom, certainly the Crows are getting back to crowd the Collingwood forward line, but vice versa, the Crows are getting space.
Yeah, they are. I mean, the halfbacks in particularly for the Crows really need to do the two-way running, push right up to keep the ball in their front half, but then when the ball's turned over, push back as hard as you can to get in the space of Travis Cloak.
Yep.
Hudson lays it down. Dwyer coming off the line, hit hard. He's over the football now. Van Berlo's got him, and Dangerfield is hurt off the ball. He was the player who collided there.
Some real trouble, isn't he?
Shoulder,
Seems to be.
Just wait there, just in the vicinity.
Dwyer and Dangerfield.
Thinking of Joe Watson for a moment there.
Yeah, the shoulder gets caught in the...
Major.
It's a matter of which one gets the worst contact. They're both coming at each other.
Van Berlo kicked it down towards half forward. Lynch was tackled strongly. Well done, Scott Thompson to Crouch. Crouch goes long and hit the post, the fat bit. Oh, that was bad luck for the Crows. And this is even worse luck. Patrick Dangerfield carrying that right arm after the collision with Dwyer, who was coming in. And speaking of the devil, there he is, the Magpie. Not his fault, just went hard at the footy, as he always does. And now Brown, close to the boundary line. Play on's the call. Brown takes something off the kick as he sends it up towards the wing with courage. Seedsman loves to run, takes them on, one bounce, probing run, goes to the wing. On the lead is Witts, and he's done it again. Strong mark, fully extended. Wicks turns around, deals, goes long down towards full forward. Brown in from the side, got a fist on it. Loose ball in front. Beams. Blair back to Beams. Beams looks down towards full forward. Long kick. Plenty of Crows down there pushing the back. And Talia will get the free.
Hand and a push. Play on.
Good call. Hard man to beat, Talia, but he's on a fantastic player tonight. Right, out of the back half. Collingwood trying to up the ante here. Dangerfield will get onto the dock shortly about that injury. Seedsman gets back to Beams. Pendlebury sprints away. Kicks to centre half forward. Vince should take the mark. And he does. He started well, Vince. As Dennis said, concussed in the McGinnity tackle last week. Had to get past a fitness test, and he did. So Lyons to Lynch. This is where they've been so accurate, Adelaide. They've got good hands, not paid for pleasure. A bit unlucky, I reckon. And then Reid, Maxwell, in two minds, Collingwood, but they should be all right. No, Shaw gone. Holding it, I reckon. Douglas, Sloane, Lyons from 40. It's a goal. Adelaide have started very well here. Their tackling pressure, Lee, was very, very impressive right there.
No, they've been very good. They've just had that zip around the footy, the speed. They've had a couple of good interchanges where players have come off interchange and happen to be alone on the wing.
Well, it was so Joe Watson-like, Doc. I think you've joined us. It was about the same time in the game. What can you tell us about Dangerfield, Doc Larkins?
Well, I don't think it's as bad, Bruce. That's the good news. I think it's an AC joint that he's popped there. They've taken him down. They will give him some pain relief and strap him up, Dangerfield. So I think it's just that collarbone, but not broken, more of a joint sprain.
So what does it mean, Doc, for the rest of this match?
He'll be very sore for the rest of the match, Bruce, but they may be able to give him some pain relief and deal with it afterwards. So at the moment he's downstairs. The sub's not warming up, as you can see, sitting there. So they'll make a decision over quarter time, Bruce.
Thanks, Doc.
Well, his jaw's warming up. Matty Yench, the sub, just waiting. Not quite sure what's going to happen. His future just in the balance. His immediate future, at least, with Dangerfield downstairs with the doctors. Ball up inside 50 for Adelaide. They've been exciting in this first term. Hudson kicks it straight up in the air, untidy. Scott Thompson did well right at close quarters. Van Berlo couldn't get it out. Seedsman did, up towards the wing, outnumbered Cloak. Kicks it to a one-on-one, but their man fell over. That's Collingwood's man peeling off. Rutten gets to the football, still inside the defensive 50. Goes short to Talia. Moving for him now is Otten. 50-50 ball. Otten did well, came back with courage. Side bottom, the other number 22 dragged him down. The old catch 22, if you like. Henderson inside the forward 50. Down there is Shaw to Swan. So often around about each other on the footy field. Shaw to Swan again. Oh, the Shepherd.
Got him on the head. Yeah, I know, but you can't get him high.
Not going well.
You can't play that. That's accidental. That's hard. You can't. Yeah, but if he runs into it. Far out.
Look at this.
Very soft. Happens to you, I play to you too. Yeah, I know, but that's very soft. Oh, for that.
I suppose he's made high contact on it. I think as much he made the contact as the Shepherd ran into the arm, which is what the umpires play.
Well, and footy accidents count, don't they? And they count on the scoreboard this time too. Lyons in the team this week has booted 2 in the first term. Wow.
Gee.
Nathan Buckley's got a bit to think about. 32 plays 8.
We were here last week, weren't we, same time?
Yeah, read the book.
Yeah, they certainly got the fly, haven't they? They've started with the life, the energy. They're moving the ball quickly. They're playing a speedy brand of football. And that kind of free kick is just the kind of thing that happens when you're having a bad night. All of a sudden, just an inadvertent, accidental high contact results in a goal.
So Bucks with Heath, you're just having a chat. Patrick Dangerfield's actually back and on the interchange, so that's a good sign. There's the coach, there's Dangerfield. So the doc told us about this. Adelaide's biggest first quarter score for the year. Now, Adelaide have had real problems in time-on periods this year. West Coast really turned them over here. We know what Collingwood did in the first quarter last week, and Swan's got it. There you go. Oh, there's a good reply. West Coast kicked 8 goals against Adelaide in time on last week, and when you look at the score, it made all the difference. And Adelaide have been hammered in time on periods by Fremantle and Carlton and St Kilda. They've had a real problem late in quarters, and they'll want to now dry this up.
No, absolutely. Well, Swan's had, that was his 13th disposal, and he gets a lot of his ball. He's back 50, Swan. I reckon he's really dangerous. Well, centre forward, all midfielders are when he was able to get through the 50-metre line and goal. So as he took it on, he's got to be a 55-metre kick. He has a lot of the footy, Swan, but sometimes I think he's just too keen to get into the back 50, help out down there. Yeah, that's good, but centre forward, that's when he's really destructive.
He's had 13 possessions so far. It was a wonderful running goal. And poor old Heath Shaw was going a long time with the coach down there, pleading his case. Of course, he had another mistake that no doubt haunted him during the week, and that was that drop mark. There he goes, still working at it. That drop mark right on the behind line that Eddie Betts walked up to, picked it up and kicked the goal with last week. Now Blair is tackled and he's holding the football, so Brown wins a free kick.
Try it back now, Jared. Thank you.
Good umpire McBurney. No genuine attempt. The umpires tonight, Stevick and Stewart, along with McBurney, as Brown comes out wide and finds Smith. Adelaide lead it by 18. Approaching quarter time on Friday Night Football. Smith takes off. He's got the leg. 2 men on the outer side. Thompson steps back from the man on the mark. Otten released into space, can go short to McKay, who cut the angle beautifully, coming across in front of Swan. And Patrick Dangerfield is back on the ground, so good news in the short term at least. Hopefully you can see out the match. Henderson.
It's a bit of patient play now. There's a lot of numbers in there, forward 50, so it's a bit of maintained possession. Well, see if they can go through by stealth rather than speed.
Stealth, you've got to watch out for that.
Watch out for stealth.
Yeah, got it. They'll kill you. Ball goes down towards the pocket. They've heard Bruce too about time on. They know it's time on. And the big fellow Jenkins reaches up and takes a powerful grab about 25 metres out. Pretty sharp angle.
Stealth or a big pack mark. And there are not too many of them, those big pack marks. There's a lot of... It ended up being a one-on-one contest. The 2 Collingwood defenders in the periphery. Maxwell just looked at it a little bit.
There, mate. Here it is.
That was a really strong jump by Jenkins.
That is the opposite of stealth, isn't it? That's in your face. Cop that. How important is this kick to lead by 22 at quarter time? Kick near side all the way. It's trying to work back, but it won't. 33 plays 14. 36 seconds to go till quarter time. And Adelaide well pleased, I'm sure. And that's a casual kick coming in. Poor Fleischer with a chance deep in the pocket. Worried out of it by Dane Beams, but nothing to suggest Collingwood are on song.
And Adelaide very much are, aren't they?
Yep.
It's been an impressive opening. Jenkins missed a couple of set shots. That was a difficult one, admittedly. But there was an impressive mark a moment ago. Here he is trying to get it out. Crouch, good smother. I think it was side bottom. Dangerfield, cracker. Dangerfield, such a key player for Adelaide. Can he play any role now? Hudson, the old crow, left the club in 2007 to go wandering around Australia playing professional footy. Sinclair kicking the ball and kicking it straight to Lynch, right on the siren. Can you believe it, Bucks? We can't.
I think Bucks is saying to himself, how much more can go wrong in one quarter football? The free kick against Shaw, the intercepted cross, and I think all of a sudden he knows he's going to be down at three-quarter time clearly. It's either 3 or 4 goals, and he's already thinking to himself, how do I get our players back on deck without introducing a bit of panic, because all of a sudden it's not going the way we may have hoped.
So from a coach's viewpoint, Lynch with a goal in the first quarter. He's hit it really, really, really well. And kick 2. Tom Harley's a good coach's assistant. It's 39-14 on a Friday night at the G, and there's a bit of a scuffle. Dangerfield's been injured. Adelaide lead by 6 goals to 2. And it's simmering a bit.
Played that whole quarter for Collingwood in their forward 6. Normally he's been their midfield stopper, but just at the moment they're going team v team.
Second term Friday night football at the MCG. This will tell us something about the Crows and what they think of their future. They're playing like they think they're a real hope still to be around in September. They've been terrific. Collingwood get a free kick. Ball plays on immediately. Pendlebury, 10 possessions now. Williams, one at his left side. Pendlebury inside the centre square. 3 left footers working together there. Hudson goes inside the forward 50. Cloak punched away by Talia. Roving the pack. Dwyer slips a hand pass to Elliott. Elliott goes wider to Reid. And Reid, a sense of deja vu. Reid on the forward line gets a goal.
Well, looks like a little bit of plan B. I think it was only 30 minutes ago at the start of the game where Nathan Buckley said, no, Reid's part of our core defence. That's plan A, but clearly he has decided that the forward 50 is where Collingwood were struggling a bit that quarter. So I guess that plan B that worked so well against Carlton last week, Reid gone forward.
Well, great move again by Nathan Buckley. We know he did this against Carlton last week. Ben Reid has gone forward. He's been released off Tommy Lynch. Nick Maxwell has that role now, but he's becoming a swingman, Ben Reid.
He's an accurate kick too, Richo. This year he just can't miss. So Pendlebury, it's a good start for Collingwood. Here's Dangerfield. He's a brave boy, isn't he? Great to see him back out there tumbling. Porplesia did well. He took the ball cleanly. Vince couldn't quite get down to take it. Then he puts on a competition with Swan and a contest. And then Douglas trying to get out. And I think it's a free kick for Collingwood.
Holding the ball.
So they didn't have
Scott Pendlebury. No genuine attempt. Scott Pendlebury's kick.
So Collingwood did not get a free kick in the opening term. I'm pretty sure their fans knew about that, and they've had 2 now in the first couple of minutes of the second quarter. Pendlebury has told us a lot of the ball, along with Swan, of course, in that opening term. Cracker. Dangerfield probably held on to. Probably should have got one there. Jacobs coughed it up. Ball. Henderson's been good. Very good. And this has been quite brilliant. He's run a long way. Can he find a target? Kraut, or rather, it's Brown, and then Brown setting up the half forward. Maxwell. Porplesia's looked dangerous. He's been clean. Van Berlo hooking too much.
It's interesting, that Ben Reid situation. I mean, it's almost a philosophy of coaching. You never weaken your defence to try and improve your attack. There's almost this basic psychology that let's make sure that our defensive mechanisms are in place, and if they are, well, then maybe we can actually go to attack plan B.
Short of himself, runs to the back pocket, goes for distance towards the outer side, working in front. Scott Thompson didn't touch the footy. Henderson's been very good. McCaffrey's got him, but not before he released the ball. Well, I think he's done his shoulder again there.
Yeah,
the deflection came from Dangerfield. Meantime, Seedsman runs away with a footy. Searching kick inside the forward 50. It's not a replay, but Reid has got the football 35 metres out, virtually directly in front.
And behind play, Dangerfield's just hanging his right arm. I would have thought he's in real trouble for the rest of the game by the look of it.
Well, he's a franchise player. They need to be careful. Then again, it's a big match. Reid, meantime, with the margin of 20, pulling his side back. He goes back-to-back with goals, as Collingwood do. 26 plays 40.
Problems for Dangerfield. Brodie Smith's the matchup for Reid at the moment, Lee, and he's just not big enough. So Adelaide have got a problem there. And the other thing with Reid, I mean, he's just so dead-eye, isn't he? I mean, he's 8 for 8 from set shots.
Got a beautiful kicking action.
Quite relaxed.
We see Dangerfield there. He's certainly staying on. He must. He obviously was sore in that passage of play, but not sore enough to head for the bench.
So we're seeing Dangerfield out there. Doc, you've rejoined us. I mean, he looked in big trouble there, but he's still out there. Can he be doing more damage here?
No, not more damage. Just he won't be effective on that right side, Bruce. They've given him some pain relief. He's heavily strapped, but he just won't have the strength or elevate the arm. They've got to make a decision of his effectiveness.
OK, thank you for that. So the big story, isn't it? Collingwood coming back hard. Reid, again, as Dennis said, it's This time last week, it's the deja vu with Reid. A couple of goals. He kicked 2 first-quarter goals last week. Ball just stood up brilliantly in the tackle. Beams to Williams. So Collingwood making their move here. They've got back within a couple of goals. Williams off a step to half forward. Cloak. Smith coming in from the side. Lyons. Sloan had a good opening term, Sloan. What a fine player he is. Kicks the ball back towards the centre wing. Pendlebury. Pleasure clever to right. Goes back to Lyons, to Lynch. And then back it goes to Laird, and then Lynch. That's an awkward-looking kick. Can Jenkins make a contest? That's a great mark.
Going back with the flight of the ball. You're not sure what's coming in the opposite direction. And when you run back with the flight of the ball, you completely open up your chest and all those vital organs down the front.
He's such a big midfielder too, isn't he, Pendlebury? I mean, he's a good mark.
Coming up 33 possessions last week, Pendlebury. Averages 33 for the past month. There's Maxwell storming through midfield. Sends a long ball in. Cloak couldn't hang on. Well worked. Come across to Talia. Chips it just outside the defensive 50. It was Henderson who gave it to him. Poor kick though. Maxwell on the road to Young. Back come Collingwood. Reid stretches and takes it again. So they've got a mismatch there. Sanderson scratching his head, and I dare say, well, Tom needs to be careful, but he might be doing the same thing.
Well, it's just been a masterstroke because down the other end he was playing on Tommy Lynch, who is more a half-forward accumulator up the ground. He was never going to stand and deliver inside 50 for Adelaide. So Reid really wasn't needed there. Really smart move by Nathan Buckley.
And Benny Rutten confronted with that contradiction. I mean, you can't ride 2 horses with one behind, and suddenly you had the man in front Wits and Reid at the back. Nothing much he could do about it. Did the best he could, and that hits the post. One thing's for sure, if he goes forward and spends a lot of time up there, he'll become a more inaccurate kicker, I reckon, Lee. It just happens, doesn't it?
The pressure gets though. Yeah, it's amazing how defenders go forward and they're nice and relaxed where they're shooting a goal. But yeah, if they stay there for a while, all of a sudden the pressure builds.
And it's building now, isn't it, on Adelaide? Jenkins couldn't quite take the grab. Cracker. It's being played in Collingwood's half for the moment. Williams, Cracker off a step. And that's a clever kick. He gained, well, it didn't go out. So Vince, well done, sold a dummy. And that's a good squeezy 1-2 to Douglas. Good time here for Adelaide to respond. I think Dennis mentioned we're going to find out a lot about the Crows in the next half hour. Well, at the moment, Collingwood are doing the scoring. Talia. Can they maintain their nerve with their field kicking? It was the highlight of the first quarter. Otten. They've created some overlap. Smith, who's had that early job in this quarter on Reid. He's a good attacking half-back flanker, a bit like Henderson. Normally a good kick, Smith. He doesn't want to waste it. He kicks the ball to a contest in the end. Well, Maxwell missed a lot. Lynch stayed down and then ridden into the ground, free kick. There's an awkward size, Lynch, and then he loads it up and gets a fair bit of it and kicks the goal. He's kicked 3. Where's Reid when you need him in the back half? What are you doing forward, Benny? Anyway, Lynch has been well. Lee, I talked to you about it before the match. He'd only kicked 8 goals since those 10 goals, and averaging a goal a match. But he's had a big night tonight.
He's been good tonight. He's looked pretty lively at ground level, and this is exactly the situation. If he all of a sudden starts to take a little bit a bit of control on Nick Maxwell, then all of a sudden the Reid situation becomes a different equation. So, Tom, I guess Reid going forward was no surprise to the Crows, but what's their response?
Yeah, no surprise at all, Lee, and it's obviously the move that concerned the coaches the most in the first 5 or 6 minutes. So Brodie Smith started, and now Andy Otten's gone there. They're still trying to get Ricky Henderson as free as possible, but as you say, frees up the front end of the ground, and really impressed with the way Tom Lynch is working into the game.
Beams did very well, strong tackle. Got Jacobs down, wins the free. Alongside the centre circle. It's not a great kick inside the forward 50. That's a great mark, though. The pack was coming. Sloan, tough hombre. Here's Crouch. Seedsman just on the ground came at it and then backs off. Cracker chases. Crouch goes down towards half forward. It was a beauty, Bruce. Now a chance for Douglas on the lead down towards the pocket right. Well, this is a good response by the Crows.
Good move.
Thanks, mate.
Not right, it's Lyons. Sorry, Lee.
I was saying, Crouch off halfback, good young player. Remember, he was the 17-year-old that had to have a year out before he actually, now he's come into the senior side. Really talented player.
This young man's put 2 goals. Not quite. Just started it on the wrong line. He was working back, but not sufficiently. That was smart play along grandstand side, our broadcast side.
And Lee Dangerfield's taking a huge interest in Crouch. Same footy club in Adelaide, West Adelaide. And there's so much to like about him. Side bottom, getting some good distance. Cloak. Talked about Cloak's record against Adelaide before the match. It's modest. That's a very poor handball by Thompson to Elliott, and then Swan. 13 disposals in that opening turn. McCaffrey in the front half tonight. Back to Swan. Now that's a handball to himself. Douglas going to ground. He has to get it out. Swan wraps him up. Well, Douglas gets the free kick for home. Bit stiff, Swanee, but it was probably there. It was a good contest between a very, very good midfielder and a champion there. Smith to Sloan, and again this ability for Adelaide to spread and carry and find the man.
Sloan. Lynch needed a bounce. He's got 3 goals. Wasn't favoured that time. Seedsman comes away. Back come Collingwood. Oh, that's a good grab too by Young. He'll wheel onto his left boot. Cuts inside. Looks downwards. Full forward. Kick is on the way. Cloak, will he get there? This time he does. Hard to stop. A kick laid into his path, and Cloak sprinting towards that pocket. Will line up on goal from about 20 metres out, but a reasonably sharp angle.
Dangerfield came off, guys, and has gone back down into the rooms. The sub is running up and down on the bench. They may be about to make a call here.
Thanks for that, Rizzo. Just quickly, Dan, now live and interactive. Is this the best big forward in the competition, Cloak? Is he the #1, do you think? Let's know.
Well, what about Josh Kennedy right at this round 15 in 2013?
What a cruel bounce for Tommy Lynch. Not a good kick from Travis Cloak, just sneaking it through for a behind. Adelaide were away, and that ball just sat up for Lynch on the outer side. It didn't. Of course, Lynch put a 10 against GWS earlier this season.
There's a bad kick in, but that's a great mark by Crouch. He is courageous, this 19-year-old. He must have heard somebody coming. He knew it was a Magpie, it was their captain, and he stood his ground.
Play on.
Has to go back. So, Lee, just in a nutshell, is he the best big forward in the game, Cloak?
Well, I like Josh Kennedy at this point of time, to be honest, if you had to pick one out of the whole group.
Good kick coming out of the back half from Brown to Rutten. Richo, you got a quick thought?
As a contested mark, I'd go Cloak, but as they're having a shot at goal, I'd go Kennedy, even with his action.
Kick by Rutten down the ground, boundary throw-in. Let's know what you think at home. You haven't mentioned Franklin, anybody?
We're talking about the big marking forward. I don't think Buddy's the big marking forward any longer. He's like a big half-forward flank runner. Very good at what he does.
Don't forget Ruffy, he does everything now. He does clearances and a lot.
Blair, a half chance on the ball, was put down by Vence. It came across from Ball to Wetz. And now it's with Clark. They took that away very cleanly.
I've said many times, I almost think the closer he is to the 50-metre line, Clark, the more chance he's got a kick in the goal because he has to kick it hard and firm and long. So he's out near the 50-metre line. So let's see if he'll unload and kick straight with that kind of action.
So they played a hold there, did they?
Gee, that's a funny free kick, wasn't it? I mean, touch, it was like they're holding hands.
So Cloak, we're right behind him here. This is offline as well to the opposite side, and the mark is taken by Jacobs right on the goal line.
Stay there, stay there.
An instruction to the man on the mark. So Jacobs, cramped for room, goes short. Van Berlo drops the mark, gets a hand pass away to Henderson. Over the top, Smith dancing in trouble, and he's going to be penalised.
They didn't do well there, Adelaide. It was some good pressure from Collingwood. Jacobs in 2 minds, and then Smith really had to either belt the ball down the line or release. Seedsman, a long, long kick to full forward. Hudson tried to tap it over Talia. Thompson. Back to Laird. And here's Lynch. His work rate's been impressive.
Isn't he, Lynch? Yeah, he is actually. He is running hard.
What are his stats, Dan?
11 possessions.
And 3 goals. So that's been a great return. And hugged the line, and I think effectively to McKay.
He has to, because Collingwood have got a good press happening here at the moment. Only 4 inside 50s this quarter, Adelaide.
McKay just one of the last 5 games. Big talking point in Adelaide. I mean, gun player, but not in good form, and dropped down to the SNFL. And kick Jacobs unable to take the mark. Side bottom able to get it free. And now Collingwood with a real chance. Cracker on the burst.
Looks inside the 50, decides to go it alone, runs inside the 50. And eventually it spills across to Collingwood. Hudson gives it off. Taken by Swan now. How did he see Cracker there? Cracker 30 metres out, decides to go on. Gets Talia in the air and kicks the goal. I'm sure that kick from Swan was with intent. He just, I think, worked out where Cracker was likely to be had he run on. And the instinct was such that he found Cracker. And Cracker kicked it. So the margin is back to 13 points now, and Collingwood would take this. 47 plays 34 past midway in this second term.
Great vision here by Dane Swan, who got it back to Andy Cracker, who had given it to him. But look at this by Andy. He's got a handle on the football. He always has. He's not quick, but they fall for it every single time. It's beautiful to watch.
It's his 150th career goal for Cracker. No, he's a joy to watch. You do have your heart in your mouth every now and then, but you know the end result's going to be exciting, Richo. You really do.
He's just always had soft hands, and it's like he's picking it up off the ground with a handle. It's just great. I love it.
No, you're an unabashed fan, and why not? You saw him up so close. So Collingwood back within a couple of kicks. Adelaide needing to hang on here. Dwyer, they couldn't put a tackle on. Here is the soft-handed Cracker. Teasing a bit Cracker. Side bottom. And that's a good kick. Swan's having a huge first half. He had 13 in the first. Is he up to about 19, is he?
17 coming up for 18, Bruce.
Thompson stayed with him a bit in the first 5 minutes of the quarter, but I think the run of Swan, I don't know whether Thompson's got that kind of run in him, on his legs.
So Blair, and then Blair switching to Shaw. They're getting creative now, Collingwood. Looking good. Pendlebury. Normally very good with ball in hand, Pendlebury. Doesn't waste it. Williams, they're being patient like Adelaide were late in that first quarter. Now Williams decides to load it up. Cloak, the best big mark in the game. Well, he had a lot, but Cracker does it and gets his second. And Collingwood will be in front at half-time the way they're going. Just the contest Cloak made there.
Yeah, it was actually a 2-on-1. Almost looked like he was going to just about... The one was going to beat the two. That doesn't happen too often, but... he gets the right spot in those crumbing balls. Cracker front and knows how to finish. They're just dominating the ball. The game is just played in Collingwood's half for most of this quarter. They're winning the clearances. They're holding the locking the ball in their forward line. Now they're scoring. They're well on top. So important that their defence can't mark. Certainly Sloane hasn't got the size of Cloak and Rutten, so he tried to spoil, but he just didn't have the height to spoil, and then Cracker just read the ball beautifully off hands.
That's the lesson, though, isn't it, Lee? Always works to the front.
Yeah.
So reminiscent of last week, isn't it, this game? Ritz is in there. Sloane trying to lift his side. Wright went to ground. Young in the opposite direction. Feeds it wide. Again, the ball magnet onto it. Swan, Williams into the path of Dwyer. Tracks it out towards the boundary. Dwyer takes on the man who is coming across his bow there, and Smith, and goes short. Blair to ball, looks inside the 50, launches one high. Reid with the run, in from the side. Jacobs arriving quickly right. Coming on was Reid, followed up brilliantly. Put pressure on. Dwyer hits the post. Well, it was a surge by Collingwood. And Reid clearly should have got a free kick. The margin 6 points, though. The biggest lead for the Crows, 25 points. That was at quarter time.
So Smith had a tough quarter, Smith. So has his team. Henderson so good in that opening term. So that long kick, which has been the Crows want. McKay going, Douglas front and centre, and then kicking the ball in front of Pleasure, who's been in really good nick tonight, I reckon. He has looked so good now. Jenkins is one out. He's going to wait for the cavalry to get back a bit. Still waiting, still waiting. And then he tries to caress it. That's not a good kick. Jenkins had to get back. And a boundary throw it in the forward pocket. There's Dangerfield. He went down to the room, so back up he comes. We're going to get to Tom Harley pretty shortly just to see how Adelaide are handling this in the box.
With the time of the forward half, that's Collingwood just totally dominating field position and the scoreboard now.
For Pleasure getting down low.
Lyons taken down just inside the 50. Wright kept it alive. Thompson tackled by Blair. Back to Lyons. Buys some space. Hammered across there by Douglas. Sloan forced away from goal. 60 metres out. Hooks it down towards full forward. Almost held down there was Jenkins. Hand pass came from Young. Breaking away the Collingwood captain. With Dash up through the middle. Maxwell to Reed. Nothing on to kick to. They'll have to hold it up here. Dwyer goes back to Blair. Looks up. Sees nothing again. Thinks about squaring the football. Well, he's got a real dilemma here. Left the football behind. Douglas. Hand passes to Lynch, who forced the error. Comes across to Jacobs. Douglas gave it back to Ball. Ball off his step. Indecisive kick. Didn't want to kick it too far because they're still short. Up inside the 50. Pendlebury on an angle. This will be interesting. Side bottom did well. That was an important win. McCaffer. Cloak. Well, that was something. That battle in the midfield. Blair simply couldn't go anywhere. What a dilemma for the little fellow. Cruising in the middle, but no one on. That was paid a free kick.
I think the umpire called play on, actually, Dennis, because I think the ball just... the tackle wasn't laid, but anyway, the ball just kept going. It was in the Collingwood couldn't kick the ball into the forward line because Cloak was there on Talia, but Rutten was back there. I think Van Burlo was back there, and all of a sudden they were able to find the 1 against 3 in that part of the ground.
Dangerfield back on, so not sure if that's good or bad at the moment for the Crows. So this is good for Cloak. This is where I like him. I know he's on the angle.
Yeah, the more difficult shot, he relaxes.
And if he kicks this, it's all square. A remarkable comeback by Collingwood. He's not going to get the goal. And the mark taken by Jacob. Tom, I'm going to get to you in a sec. Here's Smith under pressure. And the whole Adelaide team's under pressure. Gets it back as far as side bottom. So good on his feet. Quickly to Beams. Tom, how do they handle this in the box?
Bruce, it's all about contested possessions and clearances at the moment. They need to get first use of the ball and start winning the contest.
To full forward, Cracker pushed out. McCaffer scores a level. We'll get back to Tom in a minute, but, well, they're just overwhelming them, aren't they? I mean, they really have. It's like a big wave coming at you. You just can't stop it at the moment. I mean, Tom's talked about contested possession, getting hands on the ball. It's just unravelled for Adelaide. I mean, Dangerfield's a massive, massive, massive injury to them. We know that. Can't get in the forward 50.
Tom, what are they thinking about Dangerfield? He's got a bucket load of painkiller in him, I suspect.
Yeah, I think he's probably had some local dribbled into the shoulder, but as I said just before the goal, it's about the actual contest at the start. It starts here. Sam Jacobs really needs to start to exert himself physically on the contest and give his midfielders a chance just like that.
Crouch out of the middle, kicks inside the forward 50. You handle the coaching, will do. Describing down here, Tom. But Poplesia snaps and has kicked a goal. He's been terrific in the first half. He's got 3.
He's so clean, poor Pleasure. I mean, he's had a couple of...
I didn't think the tackle stuck.
He's not happy with the umpiring, but he's very clean, poor Pleasure, and tonight I think we're seeing him at his top.
Well, that happened last week. There was a bit of a tete-a-tete between the captains.
I think quite often Nick Maxwell and Heath Shaw have quite a pretty violent sort of...
Robust.
Robust, that's the word. But I mean, I think they both understand that, and that's the way they go about it.
Lee, what about the captain?
A bit of disagreement here. Well, we often see this happening. I mean, I think they leave it there. They robust discussion, and then they move on.
They left it there last week as well.
Doesn't mean they won't be doing it next quarter again.
So Adelaide get one right against the Oz and put Pleasure with 3. So the Crows back in front. Can they hold the lead by half-time? It's doubtful. Well, Reed's becoming one of the most interesting players in the competition. I mean, a terrific defender, but just where do you play him? Vince, good effort in the front. Cracker, out of play. Boundary throw in. Vince claiming the mark. He had a fair bit of it. Cracker up and about. A couple of goals in this quarter. Look at the contested possessions. Pendlebury stood up. Young had to concede a bit. Side bottom, Beams. Back they go. Seedsman. Back to side bottom. And all the way back they go to Heath Shaw. He won't kick it to Nick, I know that. As he goes away and kicks to centre half forward. Vince did very well. Pendlebury. Van Berlo. Blair almost. And then coming through. Ball, was it? And it's behind. Or was it Blair? No, Lukey Ball. So Collingwood pressing hard. In fact, it's a boundary throw in the forward pocket.
Jacobs clean possession. Tom suggesting they want to lift from him. Missing it was Lynch. Diving forward. Got the half volley. Couldn't control it. Williams inside the forward 50. Then Swan. Off hands. Cracker going at his third. And out of the congestion snaps a goal. So Portlesia at one end and Cracker responds at the other, and the scores are back to level. So Cracker, we talked about him before the game, making the point he needed a few goals, and certainly on cue tonight he's been very destructive, as has Portlesia at the other end. Such a good player, Portlesia, until he was ravaged by injury, and tonight he's wound back the clock. Lynch has got 3, Portlesia 3, and now Cracker joins them.
Look at Dane Swan. He's so hard to tackle. 2 blokes tried to get him, but he's still got the ball to Cracker. Cracker was good enough to kick the ball across the body, but geez, hard to tackle Swan.
He had the mark of the year against the Crows in 2011, Cracker. He's got 3 second quarter goals. So free kick to Collingwood. Fans like it. Pendlebury, Swan. What a first half those 2 guys are having. Which using Swan. And Swan running hard and then kicking to full forward. Talia close. Oh, what a mark! What a mark! Didn't stop him yapping either. He gave them a godful.
Have a look at the Crows jumpers in the contest. There's 4 to 1. But he was the only one who had his eyes on the footy, really.
Thank you.
He is a colossus, this guy, isn't he? He's a power forward. And Collingwood, yes, Collingwood are in front. What a weapon he is, Lee. I mean, to have a guy like that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that talk about a contested mark. There's 4 Crows jumpers all thinking about trying to spoil, but he just was able to protect the flight of the ball, protect the fall of the ball, take a big chest mark in the middle of the goal square. He's a fantastic target because the Crows are certainly getting big numbers back still. So the Collingwood forwards are outnumbered, but even despite the outnumber, Collingwood still winning the ball deep forward.
Gee, that was wonderful concentration by Travis Cloke. Gives him 42 goals for the season. Of course, coming off 5 last Friday night. We talk about Reid, but Cloke absolutely essential to that win last week. Lyons does well. And the overlap is Douglas out wide, and the mark is taken by Dangerfield. That's encouraging. Dangerfield with the man on the mark about 45 metres out. There he is, Nick Maxwell.
It's probably going to be the easiest way for him to win the footy, Dan, I reckon, on the lead, because in traffic he doesn't like it. He even favoured that when he took the chest in there.
The chest mark will be the thing too, because according to the doc, getting that arm up could be a problem. But kicking shouldn't be. So let's see what he can do from here. It'll take close to his best. Dangerfield runs to 50. Kick is on the way. It's a good-looking effort. Just going a little too far. Off hands and through for a minor score. So the margin 5-point Collingwood's way after Crows led by 25 points at quarter time.
They've had a couple of fantastic second quarters on Friday night footy in the last 2 weeks, Collingwood.
Play on.
Carlton last week, where they got to a 24-point lead at halftime after being, I think, 9 points down a quarter, but certainly a lot further behind. I think 28 was the big margin at one stage in the first quarter. So been a brilliant effort by the Pies. Vince running back hard. And does he keep it in? Lynch underneath, so well done by Bernie Vince. Gee, Lynch, lot to like about his game. Good kick inside, and Adelaide with a chance here to wrest back the lead at half-time. And that would really be something, because they have been overwhelmed in this quarter. Gee, Lynch has played well.
He just keeps finding the footy. I think Douglas is actually trying to take the Swan matchup, and Swan pushed back in defence to help out, but Douglas stayed out around the 50-metre line and got used.
Adelaide Adelaide got a goal, of course, after the quarter-time siren. Douglas 7-2 from set shots. This is massive, isn't it? I mean, this gives Adelaide momentum against everything that's happened in the last half an hour. He's hit it well. It's a good kick, and he's just floated it at the end. But terrific first half. Adelaide early, Collingwood late. And let's see what happens in the second half. Dangerfield, the big injury worry for the Crows. High-scoring first half. Poplesia 3 to Cracker, 3 to Lynch. And at half-time on a Friday night, a big Friday night at the G, Collingwood at 59 and Adelaide at 55.
So Sloan will be the offensive player. Van Berlo and Thompson play more defensive roles.
Tom, you're down on the bench. Just in a word, was there a belief at half-time? Do you think was the energy still there?
Yeah, absolutely. Really positive. I mean, it was firm, it was strong, it was challenging the key players, but the game's on the line. They're 6 and 8. Their season is on right now.
Great work, Tom. After the bounce to start this third term, Scott Thompson gets a hand pass away. Smith falls to the ground. Crouch goes back. McKay to Henderson. Henderson drives it towards the outer side. Well-weighted kick for Pleasure. 3 goals in the first half. Wheels around. Looks inside the forward 50 and the move comes. Douglas came to him hard. He's about 60 metres from goal. Hands in the back. No. Jenkins missed the mark. Dangerfield. That will test him. Went to ground hard. Poor Pleasure. McKay is taken down by McCaffrey. Over the top comes Blair. And the umpire calls for it, or does he? No, it's holding the ball. It'll be a Collingwood free kick. McCaffrey comes up brandishing the footy and immediately plays on to Seedsman to Young.
So Young, it's his second game as a Magpie. That long kicker's going to get a free kick. So Reid got the free against Ottenham quickly off and delivers, just too tall for Witts, and that's saying something. And then Rutten gets away. And then Rutten's kick is a good one. And Pleasure's hands have been so clean tonight.
Thank you.
I can't remember him really making a fumbling mistake.
He's almost been playing as their main target player. He's not going to get the ball in the pack, of course, but he actually just makes himself available as the target when the ball comes in quickly.
Did kick 58. I think it was 58 goals one year. I mean, that's a big return for a guy his size. So Jacobs did well. I mean, I reckon Tom's mentioned Jacobs' name to us every time we've gone down there.
Yeah, well, I think Hudson actually has been winning the hit-outs, and I think that's been a big part of why Collingwood are winning the clearance. So Jacobs clearly has to lift.
Oh, Jenkins hard at it. Fairly though, but Luke Ball, so courageous, picks himself up. He's an admirable fellow, Luke Ball, isn't he? A bit like Lenny Hayes, his old teammate.
Just bounced to his feet. Tossing on the outer side. Jacob slaps it down. Sloan a half chance there in the opposite direction. Shaw goes towards the boundary line. McKay gains about 5 metres and sends it out. So Dane Swan at half-time, 22 possessions, hasn't added to that in the third term. Coming off 41 last week. His career high is 49 against Hawthorn, round 17 last season. Obviously likes this time of year. Pendlebury fell down. Head first is ball. Dwyer missed by Blair, who's been a bit fumbly tonight, but won that one well. To Cracker, taken high. No, holding the ball then. Crouch got him. I don't think he ducked. He was just trying to be evasive, and I'm not sure that Crouch's arm didn't go over the shoulder, but the umpire thought perhaps he did duck as Crouch squares the foot. He comes to Brown.
So Brown out wide to Rutten. So Rutten now decides, well, he's going to have to go long. Douglas did well. He deserves a free kick, and he gets one. He can play tall, Douglas, can't he? I mean, he can take a mark over his head. He can play as a sort of target forward a bit for his size. Now Smith trying to squeeze. Oh, that looked a little push out to Van Berlo. That's a push out. Jenkins slow to get it onto his boot, and it's a behind. He's had 3 shots on goal for 3 behinds, Jenkins. They need him to kick straight. I mean, it was a good effort by him, but he just was a little slow to get that ball onto the boot. That's a dangerous kick. Cracker outnumbered. Little look-away handball to Sloan, and then Sloan, not a great kick. Crouch holding up, and then that ball, he just gifted it basically to Luke Ball, and then gets into Luke Ball's back, and it'll be a ball
Not
up.
in the back, my ball.
Sloan just missing the target then.
Thank you.
Bit of defiance here from the Crows, though, starting this third term. getting in and working hard. Jacobs wins the tap. Knocked forward by Thompson. Swan, brilliantly done, spins out of that pack and kicks it outside the defensive 50. Taken by McKay, confronted by Seedsman. The pressure affected the kick, but not enough for Douglas not to mark it. It was wandering in the direction of Pendlebury, but Douglas wanted it most and plucked it.
It's not a bad marking forward. I said it before, Douglas, for the guy of his size.
It's a strong body, isn't it? And he got rid of Pendlebury in mid-air there. Just his strength, or what he brought to the table, just moved Pendlebury off the line. Now we know he's a thumping kick. 55 metres out. Kick is on the way, but he hasn't got the line. It's wide of the mark and through for a minor score. So Adelaide creep that little bit closer. Imagine 2 points now. Collingwood wasting no time. Shaw releases Young, who bounces it outside the defensive 50.
Run and carry is the best thing he does. And he kicked in between McCaffer and Dwyer, and they sort of left him. There's a bad fumble. It wasn't a great handball by Crouch. Smith, and then Reid off a step. Good kick, and that's a great mark again. Cloak and Talia, what a good duel.
That's been a good duel. He's a good defender, Talia. But when Cloak gets that 55 chance, then he's taken a bit of the 50-50 ball. Talia's done really well.
And Cloak had the whole 50 to work in then as well. That's no hope for Talia.
Cloak's Island, they call it, the Crows, a bit before the match. They knew that that would be a problem.
15 going, Trev.
He averages a goal a match against Adelaide, 10 goals in 9. He's won tonight. He's never really got hold of them. He's never got a bag against them. Wow. Now, Trav's missed a few in his life, but that's a big miss.
That's a big miss.
Lyons around the outer side. Goes looking for Dangerfield, set him a task. But sad to see, really. Dangerfield saying, bring it in lower. And there was time to do that there. It wasn't the greatest kick, but sometimes players forget who they're going to. They see Patrick Dangerfield and they forget about that injured wing. Just think he can do the lot, and generally he goes very close. Sloan over the football. Paul with courage stood in his way. Falling to the ground was Beams, arching the back and getting through. Dwyer releases Blair. Blair goes inside the forward 50. And Cloak takes the mark. Similar situation, perhaps a little wider from the boundary here, but he was moments ago.
Well, he knew he hardly even kicked the last one. He almost missed the foot. He kicked it really badly. It's interesting that Van Gogh saying he's not. They must be watching tonight's game. It's amazing how football's week-to-week business.
Well, he's got some good competition. It's just not him against one other guy, is it?
That's true. The whole competition we're talking.
Well, it's safe to assume he's not bubbling over with confidence right now as he comes in to take this shot, but who knows? Kick is on the way. Sliding across the face this time, and Jacobs does the discipline thing, angles that punch back across the line of behind. 60 plays 57.
It's a weird thing with his kicking. So, I mean, he's such a great long kick at times, but so those last 2 kicks have been, well, below average for him. Jacobs interfered with and deserves the free kick. So he's a lone hand, Jacobs, in the ruck. They really don't have that backup. I mean, no Tippett, obviously. Jenkins does a little bit, Lee, but they don't really have a backup, do they?
No, he's going to ruck for 90% of the game with the odd rest. Just pushes back in defence, try and get some height, then just plays back half ruck work.
It's a lazy old kick. It actually hit the man going through. There's Dangerfield, and then getting it to Vince. Vince down the line, bouncing ball. And speaking of Dangerfield, he's had 20 third ups in the last few weeks. I mean, as the third up in the bounces around the ground.
Yeah, to get that clear clearance by jumping third up. Although you do want him on the end of his third up hips. That's the trouble when he's fit and well. You want half a dozen of him.
Jacobs in front. Comes to the front of the pack. Sloan swings it to Crouch. Crouch across to Laird. Off his step, sends it down towards left half forward. Porplecia in front. Slapped away there by the fast arriving side bottom. Well done by Dangerfield. Got it to Sloan, to Vince. Back to Dangerfield. Kicks inside the forward 50. High ball from behind Williams. Didn't really influence the contest. Lyons, who's been dangerous, snaps and puts it right across the face. Porplecia ambles to the football. They stay off him. He goes from a very sharp angle.
Yeah, and Thompson was making position inside. I mean, really, from that angle, you should be having a glance into the centre corridor out in front of goal before you snap one over your shoulder.
Gee, look at the behinds. Sorry, guys, look at Adelaide's behinds there. They've had 5 consecutive behinds, Adelaide.
Yeah, they're dominating all the areas that they want to now, Bruce, but they're not making the most of it on the scoreboard. And you know Collingwood will get momentum back at some stage, so they've got to get some scoreboard pressure on.
And, Richo, it's what we talked about before the match. For Adelaide to win, they had to be ultra-efficient tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. It's been a problem all year, but just in the last 5 minutes, it's starting to let them down when they're winning the footy. It's hurting them.
So Beams back to Shaw. Collingwood remain a bit of a conundrum, don't they? I mean, we were all so impressed with them last week. I mean, tonight, terrific second quarter. Let's see how they finish off before I make any big conclusions. Williams has kicks a good one, and now they can run hard. Side bottom in his 100th game. He took a long time. He was wanting Cloak to come to him. Back to side bottom, and that one sprayed across the front, and Smith takes the mark, and he wants to go, and he drills it. Boy, oh boy, that just about went through Van Berlo.
The captain hung on though, goes short. Here's McKay, challenges Dwyer, gets a hand pass across to Scott Thompson, who cocks it up. He hasn't had the best of nights. Witts gave it to the captain, Maxwell, Reid, Pendlebury, McCaffer. Open goal beckons, and he goes in and kicks it. And Collingwood lead by 8 points. He's got 2, and that was good pressure. Just forced the error, but not sure the pressure was that strong on Scott Thompson by his lofty standards. Tonight hasn't been so flash, just the 12 possessions. He started with a defensive run with roll and probably just hasn't gotten the game. When he's got the footy, hasn't looked as assured as normal.
They try to attack. We say it most weeks, if you turn the ball over in the centre square, you almost have a goal scored against you almost every time. And the Crows took it from the back pocket. They tried to straighten up, but as soon as Thompson gave the ball back in the middle, well, Collingwood straight down the middle, easy goal.
And Lee, it was Witts that cut it off. I mean, he's an impressive player. Beams, great to have him back. Elliott's been quiet. Rutten, little give. Laird, Vince. So again, Adelaide seriously challenged here. Let's see if they can hang around. This guy is so impressive. Crouch, back to Laird, back to Crouch. So 2 of their youngsters. Good kick, Jenkins. He's a formidable force, Jenkins. He's just a bit untidy. He's a guy that's come to footy a bit late. Didn't play a game at the Bombers, but you know there's something there, but it's going to be a work in progress. Brown, Otten. Slow motion, this stuff, though. I mean, they've had 4 or 5 kicks.
In the first quarter, they actually changed direction into the open side and then kept going, but Collingwood are actually pushing back. Really, their defensive mechanisms have been much better as the game's worn on.
Smith with some run and carry. Kicks to half forward. Porplesia was the flyer. Beams was front and centre. Good hands by Ball. Seedsman. And then Shaw just misses the target and rolling out.
66 plays 58 midway through this 3rd term. So Adelaide led by 25. Familiar face from the captain, tossed in. And pass from Pendlebury. Beams, Maxwell runs inside the centre square, forced to do a U-turn, comes back, then comes out wide towards the wing. He's nothing if not flexible, and he finds Cloak right at the interchange gates. Cloak thinks about going back, now chips it forward. Ball, game number 200. What a durable player he's been. The interchange gates will almost just slightly forward. Now there's a free kick, and it's going to Reid against Henderson. Reid is about 55 metres out. He wants to move it quickly. Goes down towards full forward. Poor kick, though. The mark is taken uncontested by Wright. Slips it away to McKay. McKay goes to Lynch, who's been very good.
He's covered some ground, hasn't he? He hasn't just been a forward goal kicker. He's just been really good tonight. Best game I've seen him play. I know he kicked 10 against the Giants, but it's still the best game I've seen him play.
This is a step up in class, isn't it? McKay comes short to Wright.
It's been quite right. Oh, that's awful. Good by Ball, and then off a step. Well, there's 2 goals from handballs that have been turned over, and Lukey in his 200th drills one home. Well, not quite Thompson's wasn't quite as bad as that one, but oh boy, good kick by Ball, but oh, gee. You've got to be more careful with ball in hand, I reckon, than that.
Yeah, good pressure by Collingwood, but really when the Crows again have cocked the ball up in front of the centre square, the defensive side of the centre square for them, and this time it was Ball who just went straight down the middle and kicked the goal. Let's have a look at this. They're trying to run the ball through the centre of the ground, but he just read the handball really well. Ball was alert, got it back, kicked the goal, did the whole lot himself. Well done.
So in his milestone game, I think 4% of players get to 200 games, and he's joined them tonight. Pendlebury, and here he is running hard, couldn't quite, and then goes in with the tackle hard on Thompson. So Thompson brought down and a ball up. Let's see how Adelaide respond.
So they won the ball well. They won the contest a little bit early in the quarter, but Collingwood got those couple of goals from turnovers, so just the morale of the game all of a sudden is with Collingwood.
And again, a great smother. Pendlebury, Sloane, Thompson again misses a target. Pendlebury.
Kicks inside the forward 50. Witts came hard, left the ball behind though. First back Talia, led under pressure. That's okay, to the back pocket, then Burlow. McKay open outside the 50. Coming alongside is Henderson. Crouches the next link in the chain. Will it sit for him? It does. Runs onto the footy. Kicks it down towards the 50. Dangerfield's in front. And even the winged Dangerfield did brilliantly. Up-class and quality there. Gives it to McKay, who pulls it back. Not his best effort. Bounces obligingly though for Lynch. Back to his own goal. Snaps at his fourth. How will it bounce? It hit the post. The footies tonight have taken some very strange bounces. That was a little more predictable, but still it was headed for the goal. Couldn't get there quickly enough. And Shaw, who was outmanoeuvred on the lead by Dangerfield moments ago, has had his problems on the night in defence.
Last 6 scoring shots for the Crows have been behind. So they really had a chance there, didn't they?
Yep.
They had an open forward on McCaffrey. Good, strong mark. Interesting match by him tonight. I mean, didn't get the match up we thought on Dangerfield's kicked 2 goals. He started as a small forward for Collingwood.
I don't think he's playing. Might be playing a little bit defensive forward on Smith. He's certainly been the match-up most of the night.
Gee, that was good by Witts. Douglas tired, getting back and then throwing the ball surely. And Adelaide are becoming very untidy here. Cracker just seized on the moment and then gets it to Hudson, and then Big Ben lines it up. Cloak so strong.
Pushing it back.
And it was.
Travis, try back now. Thank you.
So a couple of big trucks together, and the Collingwood fans unhappy. So the Adelaide truck winning that one against Cloak.
Jacobs Douglas the mark. He's lifted in this turn, just lays it off. Crouch sets it up. Sloane has to go against quality opposition. The first back is Swan. His recovery is always so good. Seedsman seated, taken front on that ball, slow to release. Henderson is in there for the Crows, and the umpire says it's going Adelaide's way. Well, that's an interesting one, because as you saw, Henderson finished up with a footy. Stelly said he dragged it back in. That was the Collingwood player. Seedsman kick up towards the wing. Leading back in the race, Dangerfield. Coming across on the angle is Jenkins. Hard man to move, but he crossed the boundary line.
He's seen it down there, Tom, at ground level.
Yeah, you really do get a notice, Lee, of how tired the players are when they get off, and certainly the senior players from the Crow, Dangerfield, Thompson, Sloane, those sorts of players are the most vocal down here, but you can't help but getting cold. You get involved, you almost feel like a bit of a fan, but I'm right in amongst the doctors. Dangerfield, no real concerns about him at the moment. Obviously, they were going to assess him after 10 minutes, but playing deep forward, he looks like he's ready to go for the remainder of the game.
Thanks, Tom. Really enjoying the insights. Hudson, Young, clever in the end. He played that well to Dwyer, and then Dwyer gets rid of the McKay tackle, but enough pressure. Back to Blair, back he goes. Dwyer, first-year player, 26 years of age, and his first season of AFL. Hasn't missed a beat.
Although Danger's still out there, they're missing his run and carry around the stoppages and through the middle of the ground. 17 running bounces to 2 tonight. That's an area Dangerfield normally gives them some real impetus.
It's just the turnovers that have killed Adelaide in this quarter.
Yeah, and inaccuracy when they've had their own shots.
Yeah. Williams short to Blair. This is dangerous. Side bottom, can run inside the 50, line up, and will he kick a goal? It's on the way, and it's home. Split them right up the middle. Oh, that's a knee buckler, that one. Side bottom just drifting inside the centre square. And nobody near him. So 78 plays 59. And they really have put their stamp on things, Collingwood, in this quarter. Most impressive.
Hasn't kicked a goal since round 8, so he's been playing a slightly different role. So the 100-game man and the 200-game man in side bottom and Bull getting goals in this quarter. And maybe Collingwood have broken Adelaide's back here. They need the next goal, the Crows. Dangerfield, it's been a brave effort off the left, out wide. What's he had, Dangerfield, Den?
Up to 10, Bruce.
Lions, that was clever. Wright's had a quiet night. Side bottom. Good tackle right, and then ball off a step down the line and a boundary throw in. They're having trouble keeping up now, Adelaide. They threw everything at Collingwood early, but that inaccuracy over the last half an hour.
Yeah, they kicked 5 behinds this quarter. This mate Collingwood kicked 3 goals, all identical ones, run through centre half forward through the 50-metre line.
Swan a hand pass to no one in particular after Hudson knocked it down to him. Here's Crouch. He's been impressive in this quarter. One of the few Adelaide players who's getting his fair share. Came back to him quickly from Lions. Well done by Ball. Pendlebury. He's like a maitre d' in a fine hotel. That was brilliant. The balance, the poise. Just kept his head on the lead. Wits over his head. Opportunity behind now for Cloak. Gets it back to Beams. No, too tall for Beams. Finding his way through is Williams. And the half-back kicks a goal. Oh, Adelaide are on the ropes and sagging. Marley Williams getting a goal at the MCG. And not many Marleys have done that. Few players in the competition can do what Scott Pendlebury did. Just he almost seems to be going at half pace, such as the poise of the man. Set it up, sent his man into space. Had his man not wanted to go, he was going there anyway.
Have a look at this for a set-up handball. Just find the gap, held onto the ball until he wanted to release it. Just got Sinclair into space.
Sinclair actually had to accelerate it, demanded he move, didn't it?
That was fantastic. Another goal from around the centre-half forward line, straight out in front for Collingwood. 4 in a row like that.
That was a thing of beauty, that vision, wasn't it? Van Berlo thought for pleasure and spraying Adelaide. So they're just spraying all over the place. Collingwood are 25 points in front. Adelaide led by 25 points. So it's been a 50-point turnaround. And Adelaide's inaccuracy is just killing them here. And Collingwood just can't miss. So boundary throwing. Ball gets his first goal of the year. Marley Williams gets his first goal of the year. Sidebottom gets his first goal for 7 matches. And Collingwood are rolling here.
And they're about to make their sub. Collingwood. Thomas has taken the vest off, is warming up there. You see him now. A few handballs, one of the trainers.
I'd be getting Beams off if I was Collingwood. I reckon you've got almost 3/4 out of him. You've done well. He's been injured all year. Don't take any more chances.
She crouched it well, and then Jenkins kicks to full forward. Dangerfield swamped in the end. Collingwood have got a real taste for it, haven't they? A hunger right now.
And Dane Beam, 17 possessions. I think they'd be happy with that, Lee.
Oh, yeah, but just almost getting 3/4 out of him. Get him off the ground fit and well. I reckon that's... And you win the game, of course, but that is the main thing that you want to happen
And
tonight.
17 possessions would mean his confidence will be feeling pretty good. Gets through, gets the footy. Dwyer, meantime, gives it to Elliott, who's been quiet. Elliott, the high ball. Cloak surrounded by Crows. Thumped it down. Beam's enjoying himself to side bottom. Big third turn. Elliott back to side bottom. Side bottom goes short all the way back to the man who kicked the last goal. And that's Williams. So Williams close to the boundary line. Cloak is the target. Reaching over the top, Talia. Talia's had a fair bit of Cloak's jumper throughout the night. Walked across the line by Blair.
Still been a great duel, hasn't it, Talia? Really good stuff. He's a fine full-back, centre-half back, Talia. Hudson got over the top of Jenkins. In hard ball, and then Vince squeezing it out. Adelaide desperate for a goal. Shaw, brilliant balance, it really was. And then a lovely little kick to Elliott, who's gone into the back half a bit. Just hasn't had...
I think he has gone back a bit, but I reckon now that they've got a bit of the Seedsman, Williams back there.
Sinclair.
Sinclair, all of a sudden they're quite happy to play Shaw, you know, more or less as a fourth tall defender.
Yep. Gee, well done, McCaffer, Hudson, and then Blair, busy as always. Crows with all the numbers. And one of their teenagers takes the mark in Laird. So can they do something here? This is where they were so good in the opening quarter. That's not a good kick.
Brown went down, picked it up okay, gives it back to Smith. Smith the high ball through midfield. Scott Thompson outnumbered. Pendlebury again. Oh, wonderful. Gave it to Young. Young goes looking for Beams, but actually in between the two Collingwood players. Beams was short, Reid was long, and the mark was taken by Smith, who goes out wide. And this has probably been the Crows' best player tonight, Tom Lynch. 14 possessions to half-time with 3 goals, and he continues to roam far and wide looking for kicks. Marley Williams comes over the top of Porplesia. Porplesia with 3 first-half goals. Denied that time as the ball is thumped out of bounds.
Jim Williams is growing in confidence every time we see him. He's a fine athlete, not big, but can cover ground and get up. Sloane, good hands. Van Berlo, Porplesia and Williams, good jaw and a boundary throw in. So what about these Crows? I mean, this is their season. This was their last chance. There's no more roll of the dice. They're 4 goals behind. It's a long way back. Let's see if they can make one surge here. There is so much at stake for them tonight. Sloane, hard. Vince off a step. All the numbers with Collingwood inside bottom. Takes the mark. Shaw.
Gee, Thomas had the vest off for so long, they just can't get the player off that they want to get off. I reckon it's Beams, and he's been out that long, he's thinking, I'm not coming off.
We said before he's enjoying it out there. He's finding the footy, but he'll come off.
It's all about risk-reward with getting Beams through the game tonight.
Porplesia hooks it down behind. Lyons kicks and kicks another goal. That's his 3rd. All of them have come in similar fashion. He's an opportunist. Well done. Back in the team tonight. And that's a goal that keeps them in touch.
They've won the contest better this quarter. They've done that a little better, but just a bit of inaccuracy. So they just needed to get that fluky type goal. A quick kick goes through from Lyons, just to give them that little bit of hope. Gets it under 4 goals as you go into towards 3/4 time.
Jared Lyons 3 goals then. Steele side bottom busy in this quarter. 7 possessions, and he really has been seen at both ends of the ground.
It's doable, Lee. I mean, it's still a big margin, but suddenly you feel like, in a 19-point game, it's not completely impossible, is it?
Yeah, no, they're still within touch on the scoreboard. It's just sort of finding those midfield weapons to make the most of their scoring.
Thomas has put the vest back on, and Swan kicks to fall forward. Hudson setting himself front and square. Brown, that's the Adelaide Brown, obviously, because you're watching on telly. Kicks the ball out the centre wing. Good tackle, ball did okay. Lynch has been good. Back to Thompson, back to Sloane, back to Thompson, and then Thompson on the left. Have Adelaide got time for one late one here? Getting back side bottoms, had a good quarter. They've got a big chance. Lyons has kicked 3. Lyons has kicked 4. They're closing it again. We've got a big last quarter now. What a cameo by this young boy.
Oh, terrific.
So, Tom, this is going to give Sando something to talk about at 3/4 time.
Yeah, good energy down here on the bench. Bruce Warrior Sloane's just come up. He's really trying to drive the boys to get going. Just the energy and the intensity picks up. I think, as you mentioned earlier, it's been late goals from the opposition, but the Crows to get these last couple here, they're right in this game. They've just got to make sure that they have this confidence into the huddle, be positive, be firm, and drive into the last quarter.
We've got that 3 goal kickers. Lyons has kicked his 4. We know Lynch has kicked 3, Porplegia's kicked 3. So there's only 3 Crows players that have got on the goal-kicking table tonight.
Terrific by Jared Lyons from St Peters via Sandringham under-18s. 4 goals tonight. Prior to tonight, just 1 career goal. Swan decides time to get busy on the siren. 3/4 time. Terrific fight back by the Crows. Falling right off the pace, but they've come back. And at 3/4 time on Friday Night Football, Collingwood lead it 13-6-84. Adelaide 10-11-71. Still so much to play for.
I mean, Kerridge kicked 6, Lynch kicked 10, and now Lyons has kicked 4.
Well, we mean weird in the nicest possible way.
Possible way.
Start of the final term, 84 plays 71 on a Friday night at the MCG. And the Crows hitting back strongly, close to three-quarter time. Hooked down by Hudson, missed by Swan. Again, coming off the line with enthusiasm was Dwyer. He's wrapped up by Dangerfield, and the umpire calls for it.
Boys, both subs are made. Elliott is off for Collingwood, Thomas on, Yench on, right off for Adelaide.
Pendlebury to Dwyer. Of course, it was a collision with Dwyer that put Dangerfield in trouble in the first place as the kick comes inside the 50 for Adelaide. Over the football is Lynch, tries to get it out, stifled there by Maxwell, picked up by Thomas. Thomas a sweeping hand pass. Dwyer again, coughs it up, not quite. Pendlebury made it look okay. In trouble there was Blair. Crashing the pack was Dwyer. In the opposite direction comes Sloan. Now an opportunity for Beams. On top is Thompson, and the umpire has whistled it up. Talking about players who could be the hero if Adelaide are to pull this out of the fire. Don't forget Scott Thompson, quality player, quiet night so far. He's a player who could relish the challenge.
Gee, Pendlebury again was just fantastic a moment ago in heavy traffic. So interestingly, Beam stays out there. I mean, he's there now for the night, isn't he?
Well, they're taking the punt, and I wouldn't be crossing my fingers from Collingwood's point of view that he gets through the game unscathed, but obviously they are completely confident that he's ready to play 4 full quarters.
First goal massive here for both teams. Hudson doing well. Can Collingwood get that real breathing space, or can Adelaide put enough scoreboard pressure on them here? So a couple of goals in it and a point. So
you mentioned Scott Thompson. I mean, he's trying to handle that Pendlebury matchup. Pendlebury's just been interchanged, but some ways to pick up the lead. Thompson just has to really play offensively and go and win the ball in there. Chasing someone else around just might not do the job.
Sloan was the third man up. Sinclair. Young's on the wrong side, but he gets away from Yench. He's a left footer, that's why he's on the wrong side. Bad handball back. Jacobs didn't give away the free. There is Thompson. That was good stuff. Here's Dangerfield running and carrying and kicking to half forward. Jenkins was slow off the mark. Brown got to the right spot. Good tackle. Douglas, can he hold up Maxwell? He does for the bit. Maxi can't quite get it out. Half does. Dangerfield bursting away. Left foot from 50. And not quite. But he is up and about, Dangerfield.
Guys, Lyons was on forever in the corridor, then just didn't look inboard, and that's one that's got away for Adelaide.
Lyons got the football. Well, Dangerfield called on by the coach. Tom made the point. First man approached by Sanderson. He's at least finding the football, but as Richo said that time, I must admit I didn't see it, but a man was on. Lyons, there goes the kick. Jacobs back inside the forward 50, falls in short. Almost the mark in front to Watt. An opportunity for Portlisha. Incorrect disposal. Hudson wins the free. Backs to the wall. 13 points the difference. Young runs out of the back pocket, sends it up towards the wing, making giant strides at the pack was Cloak. It's going to be a Collingwood free kick in front. I think it's going to Reid.
It was interesting. It was just down in front of us there. It almost looked like Reid was holding the Crows player.
Yep. Cloak. I mean, not a good kick there from Cracker. Meantime, it bounces down towards half forward and socket across the boundary line by Swan. Cloak was trying to get to the contest and fell over.
Because we talk about Adelaide in the final 8. I mean, for Collingwood, any hope of a top 4, they must win tonight. They've got a draw that suggests they could really get rolling in the next couple of weeks. They haven't been beaten by anyone outside the top 8 this year, Collingwood. And Adelaide haven't beaten anyone inside the top 8. Vince, clever, off a step, good kick. That was brilliant by Vince. And Douglas within range. He's had 2 set shots from sort of similar to this and missed them both. Adelaide have won 6 of their last 8 final terms.
Good, Rich. Thanks, mate.
And Collingwood have won 1 of their last 5. Sorry, Lee.
2 behind Douglas. They need certainly need him to become their 4th individual goal kicker, because they've got to take their chances.
And Lee, from this range, both the other kicks. I mean, they've both been from about this distance. That's a better kick. That's a beauty. That's a goal. Adelaide are back in business. This could be a grand finale here. So they've kicked the last 3 goals, Adelaide. I mean, just before three-quarter time, Collingwood have got that lead to 25 points. And, well, I think we all thought they were probably home. But this has been a really good response. Can they sustain it? He's a good option forward, Douglas, I reckon, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
He's had a good match.
One's holding the arm, one's holding the jumper. But that was, he's a big body, Cloak, when he's coming crashing in from behind.
He run about 40 metres, had a head of steam up, and the knee right in the back there. Ball, dug it out. Pendlebury kicks inside the forward 50. Cloak works in front and takes a very strong mark. Just propped short of the drop zone, and then at the last moment dived forward, but he was able to claim it.
Yeah, protect the fall of the ball. That's what the gun forwards are able to do. Read the flight. He's strong enough to lean in, hold off Talia, and just only needs to just fall half a metre left to take the chest mark.
Well, as Bruce said before, it's been a wonderful duel, and Talia has taken the points so far, but the last thing the Crows need is for this man to get off the leash late. Kick is on the way. It's trying to work back. Doesn't.
He's made poor contact, hasn't he, his last 3 set shots. I don't think the mental demons would be raging a little bit with these set shots at the moment.
The irony, Lee, is that Collingwood are 13-7 and Cloak's...
Yeah, he's been there one.
Yeah, there's been missing. Because they couldn't miss in the third quarter when they were running through the centre. Well done, Blair. Back to Brown, and that's out on the fall. What do you think, Lee? Right now, I think Adelaide are 50-50 chance.
Absolutely. They've got the momentum of the game. They finished the third quarter strongly, got this first goal. And, yeah, no doubt they're in the game. And where the Collingwood is just, can they get the goal or two just to dull that momentum of the Crows? That's the immediate challenge in the next minute or two.
Hudson did well, brought it down. Van Berlo, Thompson, Smith, and then back to Vince. Bit lucky, Crouch. Now he's got Lynch on here. Maxwell in a bad position, and Lynch doesn't quite hold it. Well done, Maxwell, in the end. Now Lynch, and goes for goal, and goes for goal, and kicks goal. Well, he has played, Lee. I don't care how many he kicked against GWS. He hasn't been as good that night as he is tonight.
I didn't see that game, Bruce, but I'm going with you. This is undoubtedly the most effective game I've seen him play. I think a lot of the time, just at the moment, at this point of their development, we don't count the Giants games, really. But he's been terrific tonight. Almost marked it, couldn't quite clunk it.
Hey, Tom, this has been a fantastic response. What have you got for us?
Yeah, no doubt. Scott Camprioli, the midfield coach, has really encouraged the runner to get out and generate some excitement through the midfield. Andy Otten setting up as a 7th defender. You see him now clearing up some space. He needs to then push forward to create an attacking option for the Crows who start to drift forward when they get the ball. But certainly some energy in the box there. We're right in it now.
Oh, Tommy Lynch, 4 goals. Umpire wasting no time. Hudson with the backhanded down, running into a dead end was Ball. Hand passes, trying to get it down to half forward. Swan onto that loose ball. Now into the path of Blair. Blair goes to ground. Loose ball in front of the pack. A chance there for Beams. He fell over. Comes back to Swan. Smothered by Otten. Hand pass came out from Laird. Taken by Lyons, who's been a star. Kicks it up towards the wing. And talking about stars as if on cue, Dangerfield. Injured shoulder and all. Comes across the ground. Lynch, what a game he's played. Back to Vince. 2 points the difference. Adelaide are surging. Kick Delawood's full forward. Yench pushed to the back surely. Play on's the call. Yench to his feet. In comes Williams. He dodged the bullet there. Williams inserted Collingwood, at least for the moment, comes to Van Berlo. Wide of the mark. Brilliantly read by Sidebottom. Sweeping hand pass. Collingwood take it the other way. Dane Beams through midfield. Back in the action, almost blindsided. Just got the kick away. Markers with Reid. Reid kicks inside the forward 50. Swan lurking behind the pack, but what a magnificent mark. Laird.
I tell you what, he was so good, Laird, that he's 19 years of age. He knew Swan was the man on, and he backed himself in. That's not a good kick coming out. Gee, Yench a moment ago and Van Berlo. They were so costly. Well, they weren't, as it turned out. So Thomas off a step, the centre half forward. Blair! Not quite. Brown. McCaffer. Pendlebury. You always like him with ball in hand. Swan in a dangerous spot. Well done, Dwyer. Front spot. Swanee. Yes.
Oh.
Kicks his second. Well, Lee, you like him forward, you like him mid-forward and kicking a goal or two.
Well, I mean, really, he's had a lot of the ball tonight. He's had 31 disposals, but if you can win a contest 10, 15 metres out from goal, kick a goal, I reckon that's worth about half a dozen kicks up in the back half. And he's been getting the ball in there, but great, that's his second goal. Dangerous midfield forward. Let's have a look at this. When this didn't get called, maybe fell over his back, but nevertheless, it wasn't played. Swan, great effort.
Gotta love Sam Dwyer. Hit that back hard. He's had 19 possessions. He got the ball at the deck, and eventually Swan got the goal. Here's Thomas, who started it on the subs bench. Comes across to Sinclair. Beams really feeling it now to Pendlebury inside the forward 50. Up in front, McCaffer had it knocked away by Smith. It comes across to Henderson. Henderson kicks out wide. Lynch keeps on keeping on the defensive side of the wing. Beautiful kick too. Douglas going across, gathers the bouncing football, lays it off. Yench stabs it down towards the 50. Sinclair read it well like a soccer goalkeeper. Got across, knocked it down to his own advantage, and finds ball.
So ball short. McCaffer. Well, there's so much heat in the game at the moment, and now Collingwood create.
The Crows got the spare man back, so Collingwood have to be a little bit patient. They blast the ball in. They're just depending on Cloak taking a 2-on-1 mark.
Just spreading now. Now, Shaw so good in this situation. Running and carrying and deciding to go long to Cloak. It's usually a pretty good option. Talia did well. Pendlebury read it better. And then caresses the ball to fall forward. Reid and Rutten. Reid, back he goes. Cloak, well, he's pretty good. Well, he's not good from anywhere tonight, to be honest. It was a tough kick, I know, but he just can't get that goal that could put the Crows away. Adelaide can't afford to make another big mistake, I reckon. Another big turnover will cost them any chance they've got tonight.
It's right at the moment, Dangerfield's the most forward player for the Crows. Can he do the swan and go forward and be the goal kicker?
Oh, good mark by Jenkins, who flirted with the idea of going. It's the defensive side of the wing, short. Jacobs, well, they're two playmakers right there. Jenkins and Jacobs, he kicks inside the forward 50, going back. Down goes Williams, but not before he touched the footy effectively enough to. Got it on the ground. Now it's Shaw. Got it from Brown. Hand passes to side bottom. Wits an awkward half volley. First back there is Brown. It was socked away though well by Maxfield. Maxfield got it to Cracker. And now a hand pass finds Young. The high ball goes inside the forward 50. Now an opportunity, juggling the ball. Reid wasn't paid the mark, coming away as Henderson. Collingwood fans not happy.
Sloan and Wits, David and Goliath, and Goliath wins this one, Seedsman. David still chasing hard though in Sloan, and then Wits off a step to half forward. Free kick. The two 17s do battle, and Vince got the free. So what a great match we've seen tonight. It really has been a good effort by Adelaide to take it up to their more highly fancied rivals. Good kick to Thompson.
Ball's caught out as the deepest defender at the moment on Port Pleasure if they get it down quickly.
Here they go.
High ball down towards the 50 then. Behind the pack, a half chance for Port Pleasure. Well done by Ball. Got it out to Shaw. Kick comes up towards the wing and Hudson. Hudson looks inside, finds Pendlebury. Pendlebury told to go by his teammate Swan, who was cruising past, goes down to half forward, and Cloak, some of the big names involved there. Cloak, 60 metres from goal, sends a long bomb down towards Reid. Reid and Rutten, off hands. Blair hit the pack hard in the opposite direction, McKay. McKay gave it to Vince. Now running it up is Brown. Brown kicks it out towards the wing. Working back hard there is Young. Bounces off the chest of Thompson. and goes out of bounds. I think I may have called Maxfield a few moments ago. I've just gone back. I've regressed there, Bruce. It was a boundary throw in.
And it was good play by him too, wasn't it?
I'm sorry, Maxie.
Hudson, Jacobs, Thomas, Cracker. It's been good, Cracker. Well done. Then Ball in his 200, hacking the ball forward. Strength by Cloak. Laird's been impressive. Gets it to McKay, gets it to Brown, wants to give off. Now this is a big play. Orton's in a good spot, but Brown picked him off. Yench. Brave by Yench. So a little short one. Lynch, we've talked a lot about. Lynch, good kick. Now Henderson's a run and carrier. And then kicks to the pocket. Thompson got it. No, didn't get it. Gee.
He almost got it. He's had a couple of matchups on Clinton Young, and Thompson's probably stronger in the body, but Young is actually on the wing, pushed back hard. That one, he had him cold, Thompson, but just couldn't hold the mark.
Sloan set a task here. Hudson first hand to it, comes behind. Jacobs gave it to Crouch, a high ball. Maxwell in from the side, didn't affect the contest. Behind the pack, it's Williams under pressure. Kicks it straight up in the air, quickly on the boot from Dwyer. Sends it to the other side. Van Berlo leads back in the race. Swan just corrals him. Van Berlo back towards the 50, reaching over the top. The fist came from Dwyer, taken by Yench. Sweeps it inside. Brown has it. Kicks it back inside the 50. Big pack at the drop this time. They came from all angles. Williams got a fist on it. Dwyer's been terrific. Back to Williams. The youngsters combine. Kick towards the outer side. Swan is there. And he battles with Van Berlo. And they fight an honourable draw as the ball goes out of bounds.
Good contest, wasn't it? Well, the two great mates, eh? Fierce rivals tonight, teammates, flatmates. They know each other well. Bucks and Sando. And they've coached in exactly the same number of games. So the margin, 9 points. The crowd tonight, by the way, is the biggest home and away crowd Adelaide has ever played in front of. 54,790. So that's the biggest crowd Adelaide's been in a home and away match. And they've done themselves proud tonight, the Crows. They have not flinched at all. They have stood up. They've still got a long way to go to get 4 points, but they have not wilted under pressure.
Scotty Thompson's lifted in this term. He's up to 20 possessions now. There he is again. Boots the ball, but straight up in the air. Nothing gained there. Opportunity for Ball. He's been good as well, and that's a free kick to Van Berlo. Taken high, just crashing in was Blair. Knows no other way. He hasn't been sure with his hands tonight, Blair, but he's worked very hard. Van Berlo, the Adelaide captain, comes across the ground. Brown has been lively in the last 5 minutes. He's got legs pushing up from defence. Short one is on. Goes back to the middle. Rutten. Nobody behind Rutten. You can see the centre circles there, the outside circle. Goes across the ground. Vince also deep. 20 metres to McKay. Now this is the kick really. Should he go in? No, he decides to skirt the perimeter still wider. Smith's got it. Now the move comes from Sloan. And Sloan's taken the mark. Well worked. Patient by the Adelaide Crows, setting up a chance to score and pull it back to just 3 points. Rory Sloan coming up for his 17th possession. No shortage of hard work from him. This one is trying to bend its way back, just wide of the mark. Jenkins up high for Poisha. Across the line, it ricocheted back onto his boot, and he kicked it for a goal, but of course it had crossed the line. Watch this again. Huge leap. The ball came back across the line for Porplesia, whose boot was probably still across the line when he made contact. Young, much better game tonight than last week.
Yeah, he's looked good, hasn't he, Young? I feel like he's going to bring something to Collingwood. Talked a lot about Williams, what a fine young player he is. Got injured last year. And that's a long kick to a contest. Van Berlo, the Vince, Witts, gets over the back to Ball, to Beams. Been a fantastic return by Beams. He's wanting the right target, and he gets it inside to Thomas. Well, Pendlebury could close it here, and close, and he probably does. He's just that sort of guy, Pendlebury.
He's been good. His handball that set it up in the third quarter's been... I mean, he's had 20 handballs. He does actually feed the ball off, but we've also seen him get through that 50-metre line and kick those long goals. Not sure whether the Crows now should be trying to play that loose man back. I think they've now got to try and get the even numbers a little bit because the Collingwood defence will just keep bouncing it out.
Well, it's been vintage Pendlebury tonight. He's up to 37 possessions, twice in his career 239s, twice in his career 38. So this one is hooked down for Thompson by Jacobs. Coming off the line was Young. Clattering into the pack there was Thomas. Tackled by Van Berlo. Ball rolls out to the back, missed by Crouch. Blair's got it. Just hand passes and hope. Falling back, doing very nicely was Laird. Now it finishes up with McKay. McKay kicks it out towards the wing. Dangerfield, who started with some brilliance in this turn, really started since, goes down towards half forward, coming up to meet at Seedsman. Loves a gallop to Seedsman, takes them on, although the ball doesn't come back to him. Now he hand passes forward. McCaffrey, Seedsman spins out of trouble, looks up and finds Witts. Witts about 55 metres out, just jabs it into the path, almost force-feeding Cloak. And Cloak has taken the mark, and can he kick his second goal? He stands at 1-4 at the moment.
Great defence by Seedsman. His options has been shifted forward for the Crows just this last minute or so, and Seedsman left him to intercept the kick and just was able to carry it forward. I just like him off the half-back. I think he's a really promising player. Now the pressure's off a little. A couple of goals in front, 14 points in front. Can Cloak slot this?
Almost guaranteed to kill the contest, and wouldn't you know it? Wouldn't you know it? He puts it through. So the margin 20 points. That was his most controlled kick of the night. It had confidence, it had power, and most importantly, it had the line.
Amazing. Cloak kicked the goal. Which kicked the ball to Cloak. With all the Collingwood midfielders, particularly Scott Pendlebury, goes to Seedsman and says, you set that one up, and having the courage to come off your opponent to intercept Mark created that opportunity.
So Cloak equals his career high, believe it or not, against Adelaide. 4 times he's kicked 2, but it did start at half-back Lee there, didn't it?
Oh, yeah, Seedsman off half-back, the way he come and attacked the footy and then carried it. Broke a couple of tackles, kept it coming forward.
So Pendlebury's so good. Beams brilliant to Ball. So the big 4 out there for the first time. Ball, Swan, Pendlebury and Beams. It's round 2 last year. And Cloak now getting the better of Talia. Beams a fantastic return. Pendlebury, well, he'll get the 3 votes, you'd think. That little toe poke important.
Just use the ball so well, both of them, don't they? I mean, when you've got that extra class midfielder that Beams is, just to back up the Pendlebury, back up Swan, back up Ball's harness in tight, but he just flicks the ball round, makes good options.
This for the biggest lead of the match. Well, he's had a bad night in front of goal, but he's kicked his 2. I mean, he's played very, very well.
Four of them he's missed by a long way. He almost hasn't scored, or a couple of times he, in fact, hasn't scored. He's really mistimed the kicks apart from that last goal he kicked before.
Well, Plisha, who started so well, misses the mark, gets a second opportunity. Thompson running out of space, over the shoulder. Ball does well, kicks inside the forward 50. Awkward half volley for Cloak. Beams inside the 50. Hand passes outside. Pendlebury goes with the right peg this time. No trouble at all. Well, luck's so important in footy, isn't it? And it's bad luck if you don't have a player like Scott Pendlebury in your team.
And Beams got the ball to him. It's just amazing how the class cream midfielders, they just find each other. Beams is under a little bit of pressure, but then the long sweeping 20-metre handball to Pendlebury. Right foot, had to kick it right foot, couldn't get back onto his left, but slotted easily there. They've been great this last 5 minutes.
So Lee, Pendlebury with 2 goals in the last quarter. We talked about Swan, the only Magpie to have 40 disposals in the last decade. He's on 39, Pendlebury, equal career high. And they've got the big lead of the match, believe it or not, after Adelaide really threatened. I mean, they really did give it a crack. But Collingwood have been terrific. And Beams has got better as the match has gone on. Thomas has been okay since he's come on. He's a good young player. Is that a disposal for Pendlebury? I reckon.
Yes, Bruce.
Adelaide, so he's up to 40. First time. Mark it down, Den. And now Douglas, good-looking kick.
It's like an error in baseball. They dwelled on it for a while, thought about it, and eventually gave it to him. There's Brown storming up the ground. Hack his way out of there is Shaw. Comes away with confidence eventually. Pendlebury, well, that's 41.
He's heading for 50 now.
Doing it in style. Sinclair sends it long. Cloak in best position. And it's going to be a free kick for Rutten. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure Rutten was playing the ball.
Just the umpire's paid his pulled him out of the marking contest.
Well, Clark wanted to come forward and go at the footy, and Rutten was trying to come back on Clark. That's a moot point. Clark not happy.
There's a 50-metre penalty for abuse against Ben Hudson up in the middle of the ground here, I think.
It's 111 to 84.
Just thinking it.
Surely we like seeing that. Everyone likes seeing that.
The strength of a big man, Richard.
Yeah, I think Clokey's pretty disappointed that wasn't paid, and everyone enjoys seeing two big boys go at it.
So Sloan, Portlesia. Dangerfield gets it from Douglas. Works it back to Portlesia. Well done by Sidebottom. And then Sidebottom twisting and turning. And the kick's a good one to drop. It's going to be a big talking point. I mean, these contested marks, you know, wherever they might be, but particularly in the forward 50, I mean, as the season unfolds, I mean, they're going to be critical, aren't they?
We'll have a good look at it on replay. I think just at the last minute, I mean, the one where you actually sort of pull the opponent out of the contest, that's the one the umpires will generally play, and I got a feeling that was what that was.
Are you absolutely certain you know what the umpires are going to play when the ball comes on?
When I saw that on the replay, I think, yeah, that's probably going to be a free kick most of the time. We'll have a look at it on replay in a minute to see. I mean, we saw it once from a long distance. The umpire was a bit closer, just to see what we thought of it later on.
So Vince to full forward. Collingwood denying Adelaide late here. Maxwell, well done. Back to Sidebottom. And then Sidebottom to Blair. And then Blair, Cloak right up the ground. He's pretty angry at the moment. You wouldn't want to run into him, Dwyer. And Seedsman's off, or rather Thomas is off again. Kicking to centre half forward. McCaffer toe poking again. Portlesia. And then squaring the ball. And asking a bit of his defenders.
As the clock runs down to 0. Douglas to Henderson, up towards the wing. Dangerfield, one of the stories tonight, worked out of it by Shaw. Shaw goes to half forward, stretching in front down there. Beams, another story. But here's the headliner tonight. Pendlebury, McCaffer outside 50. Hot one for Reid. Dying seconds of the game. And Collingwood will prevail. Jench has got the football, but Collingwood have got the 4 points. 127 points. The Magpies win on Friday Night Football.
Said they were very impressive. They were challenged. The umpires got it right. They're all raspberry when they left tonight. The black and white army didn't like it. Daddy, Richo, you've got the man of the moment as we just saw.